Hey guys, this is lesson 3.1 for Geometry Essentials. We're going to talk about calculating area, perimeter, height, and base of a rectangle and parallelogram. Before we do that, we need to get a few formulas. So this formula sheet is in the module for chapter 3. It's called Formula Sheet. So we are going to be looking at rectangles and parallelograms. So the first thing we need to do is draw a picture of what those look like. So a rectangle is like this or like this. And a couple labels that we need to put on there are H, which stands for height, and B, which stands for base. If you don't write on your Cami on a PDF, you can copy this whole thing down on paper. It'll just be on one sheet of paper, so just keep a running list of these equations. So in this figure, height and base also. So the formula for area is always going to go in this column here. So to start with, the formula for the area of a rectangle is base times height. Base times height. Now, we also need to look at a parallelogram. So a parallelogram is like a rectangle or a square that's just been blown over to the side. So it's like a slanted rectangle. This is going to have the same formula, base times height, but this time the base and the height are going to be the things that make a T. So for example, this is going to hit perpendicular to the bottom. This is going to be the base and this will be the height. So notice they make a T. The two that make a T are the things that you multiply. So in this figure, same thing. That's your height. This is your base. Those two lines make a T. So that is what you multiply. All right, and then before we start looking at some examples, there's one other word we need to talk about, and that is perimeter. So perimeter is kind of its own thing. So this and this do not apply for perimeter. Perimeter is the same for every shape. Perimeter means the total distance around the outside. So you add all the sides. For perimeter, you add all the sides. What's important is we add all the outside sides. Nothing inside, only outside. Okay, so either write this down or take a picture. And then we're going to go through some examples. So we talked about definitions a little, well, we talked about these words a little bit already, but area is the inside. So it's how much fits inside. It would be like this red space. That's why the word is red. And then perimeter is the outside. It's this blue outside line. That's why it's blue. Area is measured in units squared. So it'll be like inches squared, centimeters squared, feet squared. Perimeter is just inches, centimeters, and feet. And then height for both of these, height is how tall. So like this. Here we have to add this line to make a 90-degree angle. That's our height. And then base is like the bottom. That's how I think of it. It doesn't need to be on the bottom, but that's usually what I think of. For both shapes, the area is base times height. Okay, so when we look at this rectangle, first of all, the base is the bottom. Generally, doesn't have to be, but the base is 12. The height is 8. The perimeter is the outside. So if this is 8, that means this is also 8. If, this is 12, that means this is also 12. So you would do 12 plus 12 plus 8 plus 8. And that is 40. Perimeter would be just feet. And then area, the formula is base times height, which is 12 times 8, which is 96. And area is in feet squared. Next one, these ones have decimals. They're kind of ugly, but the base would be 2.3. The height would be 4.5. The perimeter would be 2.3 plus 2.3 plus 4.5 plus 4.5. So let's put that in a calculator. 2.3 plus 2.3 plus 4.5 plus 4.5 is 13.6. And that is just centimeters. And then area is base times height. So 2.3 times 4.5. Parentheses means times. 2.3 times 4.5, 10.35. And that would be centimeters squared. All right, this is where we get a little bit tricky. So they gave us some information here. They say the height is 12, so we put a 12 here. Then they say the area or the inside is 168. So this is 168 feet squared. Remember, we find the area by base times height. That's the formula. So I would always write the formula out in your workspace. And then we know that A is 168. We don't know B, but we do know H is 12. So we can put that there. Now, if we need to find B, we can solve. We divide by 12, divide by 12. These drop. B is 14. So this is 14, 14, and then, that means this is 12. So then to find the perimeter, sorry guys, B is 14. So to find the perimeter, we do 12 plus 12 plus 14 plus 14. So that's 26, that is 52, and that would be just feet. This one's going to be a tough one. Feel free to rewatch that if you need to. All right. So same thing here. They give us area is 60, but we find it by base times height. So we know that A is 60. We know that B is 4. We don't know the H. So we can put 4 and 4 here. 4. Area is 60. we need to know h. So in order to do that, we can divide by 4. Divide by 4. These drop. We have h on this side. 60 divided by 4 is 15. So that means h is 15. 15, 15. And we can find the perimeter. 15 plus 15 plus 4 plus 4. That's 38 centimeters, and this one is centimeters squared because it's area. All right. Now, let's look at the perimeter of a rectangle. It says the perimeter of a rectangle, I'm just going to draw it like this, is 48. The base is 10, so that means that's 10, so is that. We need to find the height and area. So the base is 10. Well, if we know that this side and this side are going to be the same, we can just call it S for side. That means that S plus 10 plus 10 equals 48. That means 2S plus 20 equals 48. And now we can solve. Minus 20, minus 20. Those are gone. 2S equals 28. Divide by 2, divide by 2. S is 14. So these two sides are 14. Perimeter is 48. They already told us that. And then area is base times height. So 10 times 14. 140 centimeters squared. All right. So that is the end of kind of the big things for rectangles. I think I'm going to skip this for right now. We can go through it in class if you would like, but basically you're going to find every rectangle that multiplies to 72 and then add up the sides to find the perimeter. So like 1 and 72 has the area. So this would be 72 plus 72 plus 1 plus 1. 2 and 36. So this would be 36 plus 36 plus 2 plus 2, and so on and so forth. Okay, and then the last little thing we need to talk about is parallelograms. They're very similar. So they have the same formula for area. This says the bases are 20, the sides are 10, and the height is 8. So first step is to label it properly. They want us to calculate the perimeter and the area. So perimeter means outside. Perimeter means outside. That is this, 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 and that. So our perimeter is 10 plus 20 plus 10 plus 20. 40, 50, 60. The mistake some students make is they also do the 8. That is bad. So then we already know the height is 8. We know the base is 20. And remember, the formula is the same for a parallelogram. It's base times height, or the two that make a T. So we would do 20 times 8, which is 160. And then last, the area is 240. Remember, the formula is base times height. The height is 12 inches. So I'm going to go like this and put a 12 in here. That color is really bad. The left end is 13 inches. Find the perimeter and the base. Okay, well, if we want to find the perimeter, we need to know what the base is. So we need to find the base first. Well, I see the letter B right here for base. So we know A, the area, is 240. We don't know B. That's the mystery. but we do know h is 12. So if we need to find b, we can simply divide. Divide by 12, divide by 12. 240 divided by 12 is 20. That means our base is 20. Our height is 12. These are in inches. So if that's 20, then that means that's 20. If that's 13, that means this is 13. So the last step is to find the perimeter. We do 13 plus 20 plus 13 plus 20. That is 40, 50, 66 inches. And then area is inches squared. All right, feel free to rewind this and watch it again, slow it down, listen to just the parts you need help with. Do this while you do your work.